Guys, welcome to placing a trade on the TradingView tutorial video. We're going to look at the most efficient way of placing a trade via TradingView using the impulse strategy. So TradingView, in my opinion, is probably the best overall because it is all being able to be done on one screen. It is really, really fast, and I'll show you exactly how. So if you are lucky enough to have a broker or exchange available on TradingView, then you are in some luck, as in my opinion, it is the GOAT of the trading platforms. It gives you the ability to trade directly off the charts you're conducting your analysis on without the need of multiple screens or logins. It is still a victim to a few negatives, like slight price lag versus exchanges, quite limited crypto exchanges, although pretty confident these will increase, and the lack of flexibility to extend the trading to exchange native copy trading or funded accounts. Although the game change for TradingView is really flexible paper trading options so that you can practice your trading and until you are content enough to start using live capital. So as you can see just here on the screen, we can see a range of different brokers, and a lot of them are Forex as mentioned, but we do still see some crypto exchanges in there, whether it's Gemini, OKEx, FTX used to be on there, but that's obviously no longer, and of course Binance, but we're going to have a look at paper trading today for the sake of this trade. So we'll connect that, and it is as simple as that. There's various different logins on how you connect your exchanges, but for the most part, it really is just a sign-in process, which is pretty great. So right now we have our paper trading exchange or broker linked to TradingView. See these two little up and down arrows just here. It's called the order panel. Click on that and it'll open up your order panel for this asset. At the moment we're looking at BSV USDT, but we'll come back to that in a minute because I want to run through a bit of an overview of my ratings of this out of 10 for a lot of them. So the key things that you need to be looking at for this specific kind of bridge between the analysis into actually orchestrating the trade or making it go live, things to look at is the speed to enter the signal, auto risk calculator, because that's such a fundamental underpinning to this strategy that every single trade needs to have a consistent risk to it. Things like post-trade editing, whether you can move the stop loss to take profit, and things like that, or even take profits if you really want to. The open trade tracking, so that if you are trading multiple different assets and you've got lots of trades open, how easy it is to track those and adjust them. Of course, the cost to run, how much does it actually cost you on top of everything else? And how much, why is this important? Because that gives you a baseline net P&L to be targeting per month. Now, with very large accounts, this tends to fizzle out and not really be that important. But when you're talking more leaner accounts, then this can make quite a difference. And then lastly, of course, the asset availability. What can you actually trade on these platforms? My opinion, so the speed to enter a signal on TradingView is 10 out of 10. We'll show you why. The auto risk calculator is 10 out of 10. Post trade editing, 10 out of 10. Open trade tracking, 9 out of 10. And cost to run, it's 10 out of 10 because you have to use TradingView anyway. So this is pretty much a net-free platform to be using. And then lastly, asset availability is 10 out of 10 because you are only limited by the exchanges. And since this has pretty much Binance and a ton of Forex, there really is no asset that you can't get your hands on. So this is why it's probably the best overall in my opinion. Let's take a quick look at the requirements that you'll need for this. You will simply need an account with TradingView and you will need an exchange or broker. That is it. It's pretty great. What are the added perks to this? Well, as I've mentioned, the paper trading is just absolutely insane. Like, it's so good because you can trade the exact import strategy without risking anything and you can become an absolute ninja with it. And then lastly as well, the added perks, there's exchanges and brokers being added all the time. Right, let's get into the actual placing of the trade. There are a few things that you need to do in order to set up your trade so that you're not trying to do this whilst you are orchestrating the trade. The first thing is set the order type to limit. As you can see just here, we have market limit. So we're going to set it to limit. Reason for this is because we've got such good post-trade editing, we can adjust this quite fluidly. Set the long short position default to the preferred allocation. So by this, these are going to be the two baseline tools we are going to use to actually set the trade. We have the long position tool and we have the short position tool. I advise you to put them on your favorites bar just here, and they can be found just here in the side left bar just here in this section, which is long position, short position. If you favorite them and you activate your tool, activate your favorites bar, then you can see it just here. There's a little star just off screen where my arrow is down there. So make sure you've got those on your favorites among your others so you can have real quick access to them. If you double click on one of them or either of them or both of them, then it will bring up the settings, and this is the quickest way to do it. So first of all, you want to set your account size to whatever you're using. Now, at the moment, I can see my account balance down here is set to $100, so I'm going to set the account size to $100. This is the most important one here, though, is the risk. So making sure that you set the risk per trade. You can set the actual USDT capital specifically, but for this example, we're going to be using 0.5%. Let's make it 0.25% so it's in line with the, in fact, actually, it might need to be higher than that. Let's put this at 1,000 and make it at 0.25%, just to make sure we meet the exchange minimum. Okay, so this is all set up now, and you want to make sure that it's the exact same on both of them. So for your longs and your shorts. There we go. And then finally, you will need to set your leverage. Since we're using TradingView paper trading, the leverage is set to 1.1, but there is an option here, if you're using Bybit, Binance Futures, for instance, that will allow you to set the leverage. So that is your pre-trade all set up. So let's run you through a real-time trade setup. First of all, we'll do it step by step, and I'll talk you through everything, and then I'll do you a live version of just how quick it actually is. So first of all, we have to wait for a signal, of which we get just here. Now, this is within the parameters. Please note that this is not a strategy signal. This is on the 15 minutes and using the swings. We'd only ever use these signals on the 1 hour. We'd actually be using the scalps otherwise, but it's quite hard to find a real-time scalp signal, and so this one just looked the best to use for an example. So first of all, we're going to take a long. So this is a long position. We set our trade to what the current market price is, our stop loss to the suggested stop loss, and our take profit to the suggested take profit. We see that our risk reward here is 1.78, which is fantastic. And then we're simply going to double click on it. This stage is actually optional because the only reason I do this, because it's a good habit to have, is to double check to make sure that all your settings are correct. But if you are very confident that all your settings are correct, you don't need to do that. So now that you've set this trade up, all you have to do is right click, hit create limit order, and you can see everything populates right in this box just here. And then all you need to do is hit buy. So there you go, your trade is now open. It actually opened instantly, which is fantastic, and your trade is ready to go. So you won't be able to move this limit price anymore because the trade is open, but you can move these so easy. If you want to move the stop losses, you can modify it down to there, or you can just move it straight back and modify it, and that's your stop loss. So the post-trade editing is absolutely brilliant. And you can see that the trades is populated just down here. It gives you a running net P&L, and you can track everything that you need to just there. If you do want to actually reset your account balance, then just head on over to this drop-down menu and hit reset paper trading account, and you can reset it so you can give yourself daily challenges, weekly challenges, see how well you do, and if you're hitting that kind of target net P&L per day, per week, per month, or whatever, then you can start turning it into the live account, which is fantastic. So this is just pretty awesome, to be honest. And if you want to close the trade early or fast, then just hit close. And there we go. You can close the partial position, but for the sake of that, the trade is done. So that is TradingView, all done and dusted. It's absolutely incredible. It's so fast. You can literally get a trade up and running in about 2 clicks. To give you an example of just how fast this trade can be, so we get a signal, we take the long, we adjust the take profits, and the stop losses, we right click, we hit create limit order, we hit buy, and we are in. So that entire process was probably about 5 to 10 seconds to get into a trade. So yeah, this is why, for me, is easily one of the best platforms to trade on. We just need some more brokers to be integrated, which would be awesome. And also the application of integrating this with copy trading accounts or funded accounts, I think would be pretty meta. But have a little go at it, guys. If nothing else, make sure you're using this for practicing your paper trading and getting really familiar with the strategy.